Hey, this is Stephen Klein with TheraGoods, and I've got Robbie Besser as my guest that I have on frequently because he is the most knowledgeable guy that I know of when it comes to the type of water that we're discussing on most of these videos. So Robbie, pleasure to have you again today. Excited to have you on. And today my question for you is, when we talk about water, people are normally concerned about removing impurities, and that's a big deal, obviously. Chlorine, chloramines, fluoride, iron. There's all kind of bad stuff in the water that you don't want to ingest. And so a lot of people use bottled water and other remedies. But there's more than that. So today I want to ask you about what is energetic living water, and what's the difference between that and quote-unquote dead water as you would describe it. If you could share some insight on that, that would be fantastic.
Okay, cool. Well, first off, thanks for having me back as usual. And it's an exciting topic for me because there are a lot of really great water purification systems and filters out there. And by definition, they filter the things out, you know? And that's all good because the environment is so plagued with different kinds of poisons in the air and in the soil that go into the rain that wind up going back into our municipal systems. You need to pull that stuff out. Plus, I mean, we haven't even touched yet, and we should do another little segment on the pharmaceuticals that wind up in our drinking water. But today on the energetics, it was really important to me. And it came off the back of Gerald Pollack's work again because he started me on the structured water, and because we're infrared specialists and we identified that infrared frequencies will restructure the water and why that's important, it got to me thinking that there's more to it. And if you follow the train, like, you know, if we were in finance, I'd say follow the money trail, right? But in nature, what I do whenever I develop something is I try to dial back the time when we weren't so industrialized. I mean, we're living in an environment now where we have artificial light, we have artificial chemically treated waters and foods. But, you know, and because of that, I think it really folds into why we have such an endemic healthcare challenge or problem across the board. Now, if you go back to the days of Jesus and Moses and Buddha and all those days, you know, we were living in the environment. We were adjusting our lifestyles to the environmental conditions around. We were living in natural light. We didn't have light bulbs and incandescent lights and blue lights and black lights and all that other stuff, you know? And believe me, that takes a toll on us. So in terms of the energetics, it's really important for me to trace the trail back to water. And if you think about it, water comes from the atmosphere, it goes to a mountaintop, it comes off the mountaintop, it meanders around stones, it picks up the energetics of all these stones and things in soil where it's coming from, you know? And then it goes down to a little river or a little stream off the mountain, eventually into a tributary, eventually into our oceans, and it winds up, you know, in our faucet somewhere, you know? And so we are so far removed from that natural event that it was important for me in organizing the Thera H2O invention and our purifying system to bring some of that energetic back, because all of that vortex and motion and energy and the elements that the water is being treated with as it's coming down the mountain, you know, we're trying to kind of recreate with chemicals and so forth. And as we know from the pharmaceutical industry, you know, the pharmaceuticals aren't really very energetically balanced with the body as a natural kind of supplement or something would be, you know. So back to water, what I did was I thought about that. I figured how we could utilize it, and I just brought a couple of things with me to give you a feel for that. So one of the things I do...
Visuals.
Yeah, visuals here. So I created a little flavor pack, but inside of here are, I don't know how well you can see that, but they're all different kinds of earth stones. They're, you know, like natural jade stone and rose granite and shungite and all these different stones. And what I do is I insert this little package in the flute of our water purifier. So as the water's coming out after it's been treated, filtered, restructured, and so forth, it comes down the tube, and then it meanders around the stones just like it does in nature. And then it comes out. So, you know, this is the countertop version. I know you've seen this before, and that's the flute that I was telling you about. So the water comes up through the hose from your faucet and, you know, through the 8-stage filter here, and then the last thing that comes out, when it's coming out, it's creating that vortex, and it's creating that energetic balance, just like it's done in nature. And of course, because I always bring something new to the table when we're together, this is the way that we check with this little meter. We can actually check the life force and how impactful the shift in the energy is in the water that comes out before and after. So this is kind of a cool little device. No one knows about these things, but of course, you know, that's why he hired me. So it's really important to have the energetics, and why that's so important is because, again, it's the most biocompatible. It's creating the same kind of energetic that the body is ready to receive. And so, you know, we talked about this before, I know, in another interview, that, you know, when we're a nation that drinks a whole lot of water, but it passes right through because it never gets into the cell. And the cell needs water to as a transport system to get minerals and nutrition in and to get waste products out.
Right.
And if that water isn't energetically balanced, it never really makes it into the cell. It never really allows the cell to regulate the way it needs to. And everything is about the cell, Stephen. You know, people get sick on a cellular level, and they get well on a cellular level. You heal a cell, you get well. It's as simple as that. And so we just are focusing on the water. We've created a really better mousetrap in a sense, and we've added vortex and energetics, and of course we do all the filtration and purifying that most other filters do. And then we do the restructuring piece, and that's so key in order to create that proper balance in the body so that you get the most biocompatible water you can get. And that's what their H2O is all about.
Yeah, and for those of you that are watching this video, please refer to the video that we have on structured water, also called Easy Water, fourth phase of water, which is what's inside the body. And so instead of forcing the water to try to create that, we have products that actually, you know, allow you to ingest it the way that it is, and way more biocompatible as well. So Robbie, thank you very much for your time. I look forward to the next topic, which we will do very shortly. And I'll catch up with you soon.
Awesome, Stephen. Thanks. Have a great day.
Yep.
Dial back when you can.